Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man comics are so good right now. Peter with a family and him beginning his Spider-Man career as an adult is such an interesting twist. I wonder how the current 616 comics are doing.
Please! Please! No!
Now I remember why I dropped the 616 series. Remember when Spider-Man used to be cool? Yeah, well, Spider-Man is gone. The new run isn't Spider-Man anymore. I don't know who the heck that's supposed to be. It's so sad how far Spider-Man has fallen through the years. Ever since the name of the comic will not be stated happened, The Amazing Spider-Man has been downhill from there. Sure, there's some rising things here and there, but some of the comics that are able to shine aren't even the Amazing Spider-Man comics run. It's just so sad we came from a man growing up to be a better person and handling the responsibilities of growing up to Paul. The fact that Paul is the face of everything wrong with Spider-Man comics just makes me upset. Like, Peter is now a man-child, and Mary Jane is just seen as the bad girlfriend who doesn't understand anything. Which doesn't help Mary Jane's reputation because there's so many people who believe that Mary Jane and Peter to be a bad toxic relationship, when it's the opposite. It got to the point where Peter called MJ a sister. Alabama who now? This run is just throwing Peter in the worst scenarios ever without any proper build-up or good writing. An evil Spider-Man arc could have been so interesting, but the context behind it was just horrible. I won't lie though, I did enjoy that arc a little bit because Peter wanted revenge on Paul. Paul was so close to dying. Most random, most pointless death ever. Miss Marvel dying? She wasn't even prominent in the series. She only appeared in like 1 or 2 issues. Peter is now working with his arch rival, Green Goblin, who has done some of the worst things to Peter ever in the history of Spider-Man comics. But yet, now he's redeemed? He's different? It's just so stupid that Peter's now working with Green Goblin to be his like little sidekick or whatever, all that. It's just dumb. It's just so stupid. It gotten so sad that Peter is calling help against the freaking Vulture. I'll say it again. Peter is calling help, begging against the Vulture. I understand the circumstances, but jeez, Peter was literally crying for help. My boy Peter is just being ragdolled left and right. 616 Peter is so bad right now that in an Infinity comic, PS5 Spider-Man was going to give advice to 616 on dating. Dating! 616 Peter is like 28 years old. 616 Spider-Man has so much experience. He should be the one giving the advice, not PS5 Spider-Man. Sorry, I'm back. But anyways, Spider-Man right now is arguably the most popular superhero. And with that popularity, that power, you would think they would handle that responsibly. But look at the result. Because of how huge Spider-Man is as a character in pop culture right now, his comic run is never going to end. It's a mainstream comic. That's just the nature of comics. But at least give the character some type of evolution. Like, compared to Batman and Superman, they are at least able to have families, even though the wedding of Catwoman and Batman didn't happen. Yeah, DC definitely blew that one over. At least there's some effort to evolve them a bit more, straying away from that status quo that's enabled to them. Superman has his super family right now, and it feels like Superman is just flourishing in the comics right now. Like, I think he's the only character out of the big 3 that is doing pretty well in the comics. But compared to Spider-Man, it's the same thing every time. He always ends up broke, alone, sad, depressed, rinse, and repeat. The same sad story all over again. All because the front office for Spider-Man, the editors, they don't want him to grow. They believe that Peter growing up isn't relatable. It isn't gonna touch with audiences. But they lose sight of Spider-Man and who he was before that comic that will never be named. Spider-Man was always about growing up. As he got older, responsibilities started to get bigger. The weight of the world started to get bigger on his hands. The balance of being Spider-Man and being Peter Parker was getting more challenging than ever. But yet somehow Spider-Man is able to rise to the occasion, to always rise above these massive obstacles that are in his life. And there's a sense that Peter actually enjoys his life too. He's at a point where he can be happy to be Spider-Man. He can be happy to be Peter Parker. He can be happy about his life. There's one question I have to ask you, Peter. An important question, so I can sleep easy. Anything, Uncle Ben. Anything. Whatever it is you do now, whatever it is you become, tell me this, Peter. Are you happy? We all go through pain. We all lose people we care about. We all suffer. We all get hurt. It's the price of being human. But at the end of the day, do you like your life? Are you happy, Peter? It's the damnest thing, but I am. I'm happy. I have a good life, Ben. A real good life. I'm very lucky. Sometimes I don't realize just how good and how lucky. But yeah, I'm happy, Ben. Then that's the only thing that matters, isn't it? Maybe so. Maybe that is the right question. If anyone from the Spider-Man's office is watching this right now, please bring back Spider-Man. Because the character I loved for years is not there anymore. This is not Spider-Man.